Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video we're going to learn how to create Apollo.io contact on cash-free payment. So I am an owner of a skincare brand and I collect the payments from my customers who purchases my skincare products online with the help of Cashfree. And I manage the rate of all of my customers with the help of Apollo.io. Here what I want is that as soon as whenever the customer, a new purchase is going to be done using Cashfree and I am going to receive a payment, I want to create that customer as a contact in my Apollo.io account. Now creating these contacts manually after the new payment is received to me is very time consuming. So what I've done is for that I've simply automated this entire process with the help of Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing automation and integration software. And here in this automation, I'm going to build the connection between Cashfree and Apollo.io with the help of it. So if you also want to learn about this amazing automation process step by step, for that let me take you to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to create Apollo.io contact on cash-free payment. So as an owner of a skincare brand, I use Cashfree to collect payments from customers who purchases my skincare products online. And I use Apollo.io to maintain a well-organized database of my customers. By integrating Cashfree with Apollo.io, I can automatically create a new contact in Apollo.io whenever a customer makes a payment with the help of Cashfree. This ensures that every paying customer is instantly added to my CRM, allowing me to engage with them efficiently and build long-term brand loyalty. And I'm going to create this amazing automation between Cashfree and Apollo.io with the help of Pabbly Connect. So on the screen you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign in to our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign into my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly apps window in front of you, in which you can see all the products that Pabbly provides, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on this Access Now button right here. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the workflow name and for us to select a folder. So firstly, I'm going to give a name to my workflow. So I'm going to give a name to my workflow as Create Apollo.io contact on cash-free payment. Okay, so this is the name that I want to give to my workflow. After that, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click on this drop down. These are the folders from which I'm going to select Cash-Free Automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving the name to the workflow and selecting the folder, I'm going to click on this Create button in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Create Apollo.io contact on cash-free payment, and you can see that there are two windows in front of you. One says Trigger, other says Action. So what is Trigger and Action? Trigger and action are the two most important steps of our automation process because our process depends on these two concepts. Over here, trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means what is action? Action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. We are going to set up our trigger step first. And for the trigger application over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as cash-free. As with the help of Cashfree, I'm collecting the payments from the customers who are purchasing my skincare products online. I want that as soon as by the customer payment is going to be done using Cashfree, automatically the trigger over here should capture the response of that. And that is why for my trigger application, I've selected it as Cashfree. And for the trigger event over here, I'm going to select it as payment via form. As with the help of Cashfree for my skincare products, I have created payment forms. And whenever the payment via form is going to be done using Cashfree, using this trigger event, Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of the payment, okay? After selecting the trigger application and the event, you can see that Pabbly Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. Using this unique webhook URL, we are going to build the connection between Cashfree and Pabbly Connect by following the steps given here below in the help desk. So firstly, I'm going to copy this URL from here. After copying the URL, I'm going to log into my Cashfree account. So this is my Cashfree account, and you can see that my Cashfree account is running on a test mode. Connect your Cashfree account in the same manner that I'm going to tell you right now, okay, with your live account as well. Now to connect your form to Pabbly Connect, from the left side of the panel, scroll down and go to the developers section. Under developers, go to webhooks right here. After coming to webhooks, from this panel, go to payment form. After coming to payment form, click on this add webhook endpoint button, and over in this webhook URL field, paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided you, and then click on this test and add button. And as you go to click on this test and add button, and it stays over here as test, a test response is going to be forwarded to this webhook URL to our workflow right over here. So I'm going to click on this test and add button right over here. As I'm going to do that, the status comes over here as success. So success come over here as the test response has been forwarded towards this webhook URL. So for doing that, I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down. And as you can see over here, the response is the test response has been captured over here in our trigger. As now the test response is captured, I want to capture the response of the payment being done of my customers. For that, I'm going to recapture the response over here. And as I'm going to do that, over here it is saying waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether Cashfree is successfully connected to Pabbly Connect or not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the test payment with the help of the form that I've created using Cashfree for my skincare product. And after doing the test payment, I'm going to check whether Pabbly Connect captures the response of the test payment being done or not. So firstly, I'm going to save this webhook URL. For that, I'm going to click on this add button right here. It says webhook added successfully. As now the webhook URL is added successfully, we are now going to do the test payment, okay? For that, I'm going to click on this payment forms and all button right over here, okay? As I'm going to do that, you can see these are all the products that I've created, payment forms that I've created in my Cashfree. And using this form in the name of Natural Glow Face Toner, I'm going to do the purchase of my skincare product. So this is the payment link. I'm going to copy this link from here and open it in a new tab right over here. As I'm going to do that, this is the payment form for Natural Glow Face Toner, and let us do the test payment. It is for $5.99. You can see right over here. I'm going to write in the customer's name. So with the name over here, I'm going to write it as new user 34. For the email over here, I'm going to write it as new user 34@pabblytudes.com. For the phone number over here, I'm going to enter a dummy mobile number. For the address line over here, I'm going to write it as 11 New City. For the city over here, I'm going to write it as Indore, and for the state over here, I'm going to select over here as Madhya Pradesh. For the pin code, I'm going to enter a dummy pin code right here and click on this pay securely button. For the method of payment, I'm going to select it as card. This is a test card. I'm going to use the details. Over for the name, I'm going to write it as new user, okay? After filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on this proceed to pay button right here. It is asking for the OTP, so I'm going to enter a dummy OTP right here. As I've done that, you can see over here it comes as payment is successful. As now the payment is done successfully using Cashfree, I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down. Over here, I'm going to wait for a few seconds. As you can see in few seconds, the response of the payment being done has been captured in our trigger. This is the event date and time when with this payment done. This is the transaction ID, status comes over here as paid. This is the order ID. Amount was $5.99. This is the customer's mobile number. Name is new user 34. Over here, this is the pin code that is right over here. State is Madhya Pradesh. City is Bhopal. Address is 11 New City. And this is the email that is new user 34@pabblytudes.com. This is the product name that was Natural Glow Face Toner. As the response has been captured over here in our trigger of our Cashfree payment, this means that Cashfree has now been successfully connected to Pabbly Connect and our trigger setup is done. After setting up our trigger step, we need to set up our action step. Over here in my Cashfree account, over here if I'm going to go to all payments form right over here, you can see I've created multiple forms in my Cashfree account. My objective is that whenever the payment for this form in the name of Natural Glow Face Toner is going to be done, then only this workflow should be executed. Further, a contact should be created in my Apollo.io account. Now, over here, what we are going to do is, for that, we are going to add a filter over here in this action step so that whenever the payment for this specific form is going to be done using Cashfree, only then this workflow is going to be executed further after this step. For that, we need to apply a condition. For that, I'm going to add an action application over here as filter. With the help of filter, we can filter out the values according to our requirement. And for the action event, I'm going to select it as filter values. Then I'm going to click on this connect button. It is asking for us to select the label, filter type, and the value. For the label, in this previous response, if I'm going to show you the response right over here, we have received over here a form ID, and this form ID is a unique ID for all the forms that I've created using Cashfree. You can see right over here. So what we're going to do is, for the select label, I'm going to select it as the form ID that I've received right here. So whenever the form ID is going to be equal to the value, for the value, I'm going to enter this form ID of the form natural glow face toner. So this is the ID. I'm going to copy this ID from here and paste it in the value field. Now whenever the response of the previous step is going to be equal to this value of the form ID, then this workflow is going to be executed after this filter step. As I'm going to click on the save and send test request button, the status comes as success and the condition comes as true. Okay, this means now the filter is added successfully. Now what is going to happen, that using Cashfree, whenever the payment for any of the forms is going to be done in my Cashfree account, this workflow is only going to be executed whenever the payment for this form natural glow face toner is going to be done by the customer after this filter step right here. As now we have added the filter, I want to create the person who have done the payment using Cashfree as a contact in my apollo.io account. Now for that, we're going to add another action step to this workflow. And for the action application over here, I'm going to select it as Apollo. And for the action event as create contact. After selecting the action application and the event, I'm going to click on this connect button. A window is going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new connection, or else you can select the existing connection that you have. After that, it is asking for the API key, and using this key, we are going to build a connection between Apollo and Pabbly Connect. To have the API key, click on this hyperlink here button right over here. As I'm going to do that, you're going to land towards Apollo Developer Portal, and after coming to the portal right over here, on the left side of the panel, go to the API keys section right here. Now we're going to create a new key. For that, click on this create key button right here. It is asking for the key name. So for the key name over here, I'm going to write it as new customer added. This is the name, and for the key I'm going to select it as this is a contact creation key, so I'm going to select as contact create right over here. Okay, and then I'm going to click on this create API key button right here. As I'm going to do that, it says API key successfully created. This is the new customer added key that we have created. I'm going to copy this key from here and paste this key over here in this API key field, and then I'm going to click on this save button. As I've done that, you can see Apollo is successfully connected to Pabbly Connect. As now apollo.io is connected, it is asking for all these details, with the help of which a contact is going to be created in our Apollo account. Now for data of these fields, what we are going to do is we are going to map the data. What is mapping? Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we're going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. It is asking for the contact's first name. As I'm going to click over here, these were the previous step. As I'm going to click on it, you can see these were the previous response that was captured in our previous step of our customer details as well right over here. It is asking for the contact's first name. In the response, I've received our customer's data, and I want to create the same customer as a contact over here in my apollo.io account. But in the previous response, we have received the customer's name, first name, and the last name together. But for creating this contact over here, it is asking for the contact's first name and the last name. But as in the previous response, we have received the first name and the last name together, what we are going to do is we are going to split the first name with the last name over here. For doing that, we're going to add another action step to this workflow, and for the action application over here, I'm going to select it as text formatter by Pabbly. With the help of this amazing feature by Pabbly Connect, we can format the text according to our requirement. For the action step, I'm going to select it as split text. As now I'm going to split the first name with the last name of my customer, then I'm going to click on this connect button. It is asking for us to select the text to split. I'm going to map the data of the name of my customer over here. This is the first name and the last name. I want to split them, so I'm going to select the data from the previous response of my customer's name. As I've selected the data from my previous response, the data is mapped. And as I've mapped the data has now become dynamic. That means now whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. Okay. Now it is asking for the separator, using which unit can we separate both the values. Over here in the help it says for a space as separator, use this code right over here. Now between the first name and the last name, there is an available space over here, and I want to separate these two units with the help of this space. Now as a separator, we have to use this code space over here. So I'm going to copy this code from here and paste it right over here. Okay, this is the separator. For the segment and text, which value do we want from the split text over here? I want both the values, so I'm going to select as all, and then I'm going to click on the save and send test request button. You can see the first name and the last name is separated from each other. Now we're going to use this data in order to map the data, the first name and the last name of our contact. So this is the first name, I'm going to map it, and for the last name, I'm going to map the data as well. After mapping the data, it is asking for the organization name. There is no organization name, so I'm going to select over here as none as the organization name. For the email address over here, I'm going to map the data of the email address that I've received right over here. It is asking for the title over here, so for the title over here, I'm going to write it as new customer. Okay, this is the title. It is asking for the contact stage. I do not have the stage, so I'm going to skip the part. I'm going to skip the part of the website URL as well. For the address over here, I'm going to map the data of the address. It is the address, comma, space, city, space. Over here, it is asking for the state. I'm going to put the state and the pin code. After filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on the save and send test request button right here. As I'm going to do that, we have received a response, which is a positive response, as we have received the contact's ID. As now this is a positive response, I'm going to log into my Apollo.io account. This is the contacts page of my account. I'm going to refresh this page from here. As now I've refreshed the page, you can see over here a new contact in the name of new user 34 has been created in my Apollo.io account with the email as newuser34@pabblytudes.com. And over here you can see this is the mobile number of our lead with all the other details. As over here a new contact has been successfully created in our Apollo.io account, this means that we have successfully created an automation between Cashfree and Apollo.io with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum up till now what we have done, I am an owner of a skincare brand, and using Cashfree I collect the payments of the skincare products purchased online by my customers, and I use Apollo.io to manage the data of all my customers. And in this workflow, for the trigger, I've selected as cash-free payment via form, as whenever the payment is going to be done by the customer for purchasing any of my skincare products using cash-free, and the payment is done over here, the trigger is going to capture the response of my customer's details and the payment details. Now, using the customer's details from this response over here, using this action step, which is Apollo create contact, a contact is automatically going to be created of that same customer in my Apollo account. And with Pabbly Connect, in this manner, I've created an automation between these two applications. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.
Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple other applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. If you have any questions, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can check the queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment on if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video.